Hello, my name is Michelle and welcome to my channel, Michelle's Melancholia. First of all, happy Halloween! It is Halloween tonight when I am recording this, but if you're watching this, Halloween was probably yesterday or some other day in the past, so I hope you had a really nice day. Today I will be sharing my Halloween book haul. And originally, I was going to make a video with all the new books I accumulated in the month of October, but because I did some extra Halloween shopping, I decided that it was way too much. And I didn't really want to make a super long haul, so I decided to show today the books that I got specifically as my Halloween celebration, and then I will have a separate video with the rest of the books I bought throughout the month. And basically the backstory for the Halloween haul is that in a local charity shop that is close to my home, which is like an Oxfam bookshop, they do their window displays according to like different themes that usually correspond to either the time of year or current events, things like that. So obviously every late October they do their Halloween display. So I knew for a fact that in the months, weeks, days, who knows, leading up to Halloween, they kind of like hoard all the horror books so they can release them around Halloween. So a few weeks ago when I went in there, I asked the volunteers if they knew when the Halloween display would come out, so I could be like first in line, picking first basically the books that I wanted, and they gave me a date and they told me to come back that day, and that obviously I could get like first pick from their selection. But then I went on that day and those girls were not there. There were different volunteers, and I asked them if they knew where the Halloween selection was, and they had no idea. So I couldn't really get first pick. And that day, because I was kind of disappointed that I couldn't do any Halloween shopping, just out of curiosity, I went into the charity shop next door and I had a lot of luck because I found all of these 4 books. And these are part of the British Library Tales of the Weird collection, which is a huge collection of like weird horror anthologies. I think they now have like 27 volumes, and each collection is like set around a specific theme or a specific author or something like that. And actually, the person that I know has the best of these collections, I think he actually has the full collection, is Roy from Roy Reads Anything. And recently he made a video basically going through each of the volumes and organizing them according to different things. It was a really fun one. So I'll just link that below and just go check Roy's channel because he is super entertaining and you can tell like he loves books so much. So anyways, I was really happy to find these because for a while I've been wanting to collect them, but so far I literally only have 2 somewhere over there. So yeah, I was really excited to find these. So the first one is Shadows on the Wall, Dark Tales by Mary E. Wilkins Freeman. So this seems to be one of those single author collections. And it says, the disquieting tales of Mary E. Wilkins Freeman explores a world of contrast where the supernatural erupts out of authentically drawn portraits of New England life. The next one is The Night Wire and Other Tales of Weird Media. This one has a really annoying sticker that I have to very carefully remove. And this says that it is weird horror based on the groundbreaking new technologies of the 19th and 20th centuries and the new anxieties that they generated. The next one is 2 novels by Charlotte Riddell, Haunted Houses, which includes 2 chilling yet charming novels that I think reflect Victorian England as well. And the last one is Doorway to Dilemma, Bewildering Tales of Dark Fantasy. So I just assume that this will lean more towards the fantasy genre. So even though I was very disappointed that I didn't get the exclusive first look at the Oxfam Halloween collection. I was very lucky to come home with these 4. And anyways, a couple of days later, I was walking to work when I saw that the Halloween selection was out on the window display. So I went into the shop and did my shopping. So they didn't have like a lot of stuff. There was so much Stephen King, of course, which I didn't get any. They had a lot of anthologies, and I did come home with some books, but I wasn't mind blown. I mean, it's charity shop, so it depends on, it's a matter of luck, basically. And I also didn't want to just take a lot because I wanted other people to be able to buy horror books as well. But let's see what we have. Oh, I actually had forgotten. Now I remember. I'm excited. The first one is Teatro Grotesco by Thomas Ligotti. And it says that Thomas Ligotti portrayed characters that are outside of anything that might be called normal life, depicting strange locales far off the beaten track and rendering a grim vision of human existence as a perpetual nightmare. And I haven't read Ligotti before, but I've heard that it is quite disturbing, so I'm looking forward to this. The next one I'm also very excited, and it's actually a book that I've already read before, but it was quite a few years ago. I'd say close to 10 years ago, and I remember really enjoying it, and that is Dark Water by Koji Suzuki. Koji Suzuki is the author of the book series that inspired the Ring movies, so it's the Ring book series. And this is a collection of short stories. One of these was also adapted into a movie, which I think is called Dark Water. But I do remember enjoying these in the past. If I remember correctly, some of the stories were quite sad, like heartbreaking, melancholic, so I'm excited to read these again. The next one is The Night Boat by Robert McCammon. And I was happy to find this because I will start reading McCammon soon. So I'm going to be reading Usher's Passing and They Thirst. So I've heard really good things about the author and I wanted to have some more of his books, so now I have this one. And this is from 1980, but this particular edition was printed in 1990. And it says, "From the living hell of her watery grave, she rises again, the night boat. Deep under the calm water of a Caribbean lagoon, salvage diver David Moore discovers a sunken Nazi U-boat entombed in the sand, a mysterious relic from the last war. Slowly, the U-boat rises from the depths, laden with a long-dead crew, cancerous with rot, mummified for eternity. Or so Moore thought, until he heard the deep, hollow boom of something hammering with feverish intensity, something trying desperately to get out." Then there is one that I'm not sure when I'm going to read, but I just couldn't pass it up, and that is this point horror book. It's called Vampire Love 2 Blood Spell. So clearly this is the second in a series. I don't have the first one. I don't know when I'm going to have it, but I want to get this one now. And this is written by Janice Harrell. Rena has a powerful new opponent for James' heart, a rival she created in a moment of rage. Now Chelsea has James and Rena running scared. So I'm not going to finish reading the description because it's clearly referencing what happens in the first book in the series. So I'd rather just skip it, try to find the first Vampire's Love, and then go from there. Then I have The City of Dr. Moreau by J.S. Barnes. I don't think this is necessarily horror, although it was in that section. It says, "In H.G. Wells' The Island of Dr. Moreau, a shipwrecked traveler finds himself alone on an island ruled by a mad doctor and inhabited by creatures who are at once both beast and human. He escapes, but that is only the beginning of the story. The City of Dr. Moreau is a sprawling history of the islanders and an alternative vision of our own times. Spanning more than a century, crisscrossing across numerous places and many lives, we witness the growth of Moreau's legacy, from Gothic experiments to an event which changes the world, from the depths of Victorian London to a boarding house with an inhuman resident, to an assassin on a 20th century train ordered to kill the one man who knows the truth. we follow secret skirmishes and hidden plots which emerge eventually and violently into the open. And I've never heard of this book before, but I was excited to find it because I may have in the future a video focusing on the island of Dr. Moreau and its different retellings, which I actually was going to announce in the other part of the haul, but I didn't realize that this was in this haul, so I've spoiled it now, but whatever. I'm also really excited for this one, and it is Clive Barker's Books of Blood, volumes 4 to 6. And this particular copy is from 1988, and I already have volumes 4 to 6, I think, each of the individual ones, but I also wanted to have the omnibus, and they also had the volumes 1 to 3, but it was a much later edition, I think from the year 2000 or something, and it wasn't quite the cover that I wanted, so I left that there. And this last one is a little bit of a wild card. It is called Blue Light of the Screen by Claire Cronin on horror, ghosts, and God. And this is another one that I never heard of before, but I was super intrigued by the description in the back. It says, Blue Light of the Screen is about what it means to be afraid, about immersion, superstition, delusion, and the things that keep us up at night. A creative critical memoir of the author's obsession with the horror genre, Blue Light of the Screen embeds its criticism of horror within a larger personal story of growing up in a devoutly Catholic family, overcoming suicidal depression, uncovering intergenerational trauma, and encountering real and imagined ghosts. As Cronin writes, she positions herself as a protagonist who is haunted by what she watches and reads, like an antiquarian in an M.R. James ghost story whose sense of reality unravels through her study of arcane texts and cursed archives. In this way, Blue Light of the Screen tells the story of the author's conversion from skepticism to faith in the supernatural. Part memoir, part ghost story, and part critical theory, Blue Light of the Screen is not just a book about horror, but a work of horror itself. So, I have no idea what this is going to be like. It has some creepy illustrations, I've just found out. But it just looks like it could be a really interesting discussion. We'll see. And that's all. That's the end of my Halloween book haul. But I'll be back soon with the second part of the book haul, which will be just more varied. A bunch of things that I've been picking up throughout the month. Some horror, some non-horror. And just let me know what you think of the books I chose, or whatever you want to talk to me about in the comments, and I will see you on my next video. But until then, goodbye.